boom. Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you, man. I'm just getting back to the crib, man. Arm day, man. Swelled them up. Yeah, feeling pumped up, man. Pumped them up like a flat tire. You know, I'm finna make me some dinner, meal prep real quick, man. Quick message, though, to all my people, no matter where you at in the world, no matter where you at in life, man. Especially all my people that may right now in your life, you're going through some financial difficulties. You know, your money ain't how you want it to be. You having financial troubles. You might not necessarily know where your next meal coming from. You might not necessarily know where you fit to sleep at tonight. It might be a night sleeping in the shelter, the goddamn car. I don't know, man. I don't know what you're going through. But I'm here to tell you this. As long as you trying your best, you exploring all your options out here, you know, and you putting forth a conscious effort, the shit's only temporary. You know, you just got to keep plugging away, you know. And I understand, you know, that it's not always easy, you know, to stay optimistic, to stay motivated, especially when you're going through some shit like that. You going through trials and tribulations. I understand that, you know. I grew up poor. I grew up in the projects. You know, we was on all that Section 8, Charity, Newsy, WIC, low income, a lot of crime where I grew up at. You know, I remember, you know, going to college, man. I was able to get a football scholarship, you know, and change my situation to make it out. But I remember when I was in college, you know, my mom, she couldn't afford, you know, to pay for me to go to school. You know, she did everything she could, though. She made sure I had a little spending money in my pocket. You know, if I needed something, you know, like say I was short a little bit of money on getting my books or something, she made sure she found a way to give me that money. But, you know, when I was in school, you know, then I finally moved off campus around my junior year. You know, I had a little apartment. You know, it wasn't much. I was only paying like $375 a month. So that tells you what kind of living conditions I was living in at the time. I had a little part-time job. I had a little girlfriend at the time. She had a part-time job, so we were kind of making it work, you know. But I remember back then, you know, I could only save, even if I could only save $25 a check, a paycheck every time I got paid from my little part-time job, or $50 a check, you know, I was always trying to stay optimistic, you know, and I was like this. My situation where I'm at right now, it don't determine who I am, and it doesn't determine the rest of my life, you know? So I did what I could. If I could only save $25, that so be it. I saved $25, man. I put it in the bank, and I was still thinking long term. You know, I'm like this, $25, it may not sound like a lot, but that shit can add up over time, you know? $50 here, $25 here. 50 every 2 weeks, or when I got paid. I think I got back then. I was working at a casino in West Virginia. You know, I went to college at West Virginia State, so I had moved off campus. I was working at a casino. I was one of the people. We had the race dogs, the greyhounds. You know, people bet on the races. I was the person that stood there and held the dog on the track while people would place their bets, man. I was only there 6 months, man. Worst job of my life, man, you know, but I stuck with it for them 6 months, you know. We had to stand out there in the rain sometimes, the cold, with them damn dogs, you know, load them up into the kennel. When they race, they get done racing, we have to run out there, go pick them up, man. It could be damn pouring down rain, man. I was like, man, you know what, man, just stay focused and grind this shit out, man. This shit ain't gonna be forever, you know. And, you know, lo and behold, I finally got a job in my field. You know, I graduated in criminal justice, you know, and I was able to get a job working at the county jail. When I got a job at the county jail, it's like, boom, now I'm making a good salary, you know. My couple years I worked at the county jail, I think I made about $40,000 both of them years. So at the time I was, 20, 21. So, I mean, back then, that was back in 2011, and I was living in West Virginia, which is not a high cost of living state. So back then, that was some good money. I was able to move out of my apartment. I was paying $375 at, you know, it was like a slum hole, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It looked like the fucking, you remember the abandoned building on Home Alone 2? When Kevin's, I think he flew to New York, and he goes to see if his uncle is still living there. It's like an abandoned building. The one he had all the booby traps in. That's what the apartment I lived in looked like, man. It was like old Victorian style, looked like it was 200 years old. And the landlord was a slumlord. He wasn't trying to give me back my deposit, man. He stopped returning my calls when I moved out. I left it in good condition, made sure I cleaned up and all that. I had to go to the Better Bureau of Business or some shit, and they was able to give me my $375 I put down on the apartment back. But after that, I was able to, my money is, my cash flow is better then. So I was able to move into some better apartments. These apartments, they had a damn tennis court, swimming pool, 2-bedroom apartment. I was like, okay, cool. I worked at the county jail for them 2 years. Then I moved up even more. Now I got on with the federal prison system. So from me going from the county jail at the state level to the federal prison, I think my salary jumped like a whole nother 20,000. So then I was able to, I had to move because the prison I had got on at was like 3 hours away from where I was living at. So I was able to get a townhouse, even nicer, I think it was that 2 or 3 bedrooms, but it was still the same situation, nice townhouse in a good part of town, but that goes to show you my progression, I went from, only being able to save $25, $50 a check to now I got a federal job with the federal government, I'm able to go ahead and get credit cards in my name. I'm able to go get a brand new car. I ain't got to drive around my hoopty no more, were there times I got down? Yeah, but overall, the long trajectory, I was always optimistic. I'm looking at the future, the long term. You got to be out here exploring all your options. You going through it. Even if you got to go pick up a little part-time job at McDonald's for the time being, ain't no shame in your game. If I got to go out here and shovel dog shit on the side of the road, man, to put some money in my pockets, man, to put food on the table, make sure I got a roof on my head, then that's what I'm going to do. It's no shame in my game, And like I said, my mindset, I'm so strong, mentally tough, and optimistic that I know that's not going to determine my life. It's more to it for me. I'm always thinking. You got to always be thinking, strategizing, and exploring your options out here. It's so many different ways to make money, Like I said, even if you got to work at McDonald's, you stack your paper up little by little, Shit, even if you can only save 75, 100 a check. Look at the long term. A couple years, you might have 2 or 3 grand saved up, Now you can start looking into other options. Maybe you want to go find you a trade. You want to maybe become a plumber. You want to become a carpenter, some shit like that, man. Learn some kind, or you want to go to the community college, get your education so you can move up in the world. Hell, I've been working in the prison system 12 years now. A lot of the inmates, when they about to get out, man, a lot of them, what they end up doing is they get on the road, they get their CDLs while they in prison, or as soon as they get out, they go take the class for their CDLs, and they be out there driving 18-wheelers or delivery trucks, the Amazon delivery trucks, man. That's a viable option, The point I'm trying to make, is you got to always be exploring every possible avenue. You going through it, man. Just don't give up. Don't just fucking quit, give in, and say, I'm just going to be a fucking bum the rest of my life. No, sir. You can't have that mentality. That's a fucking poor mentality. It sound like a bunch of a crock of shit, a bunch of excuses, man. If you got some kind of ambition about yourself, you got some kind of heart about yourself, you can't just lay down like that, man. You got to figure out a play. You got to figure some shit out, I've always been the type, to always be planning, plotting. From the time I was in high school, man, I knew I was going to be somebody. I knew I was going to do something good with my life. I was going to make something of myself, make my parents, make my family proud and shit, man. I stuck to it. I never wavered. I never lost my motivation. I never lost my drive, and I know sitting here making this video, it may be easier for me and it may be harder for other people out there that's watching this video to have that same motivation, that same determination, and that same drive. But you got to find your why. You got to take a long, hard look in the mirror. You got to figure out what the fuck you going to do. You going to be a bum out here on the street, fucking standing on the side of the road with a fucking change cup, shaking it, being a fucking bum, making excuses, or you gonna get up, you gonna find a way, you gonna make a way out of nothing and try to make some shit shake, man. That's what it boils down to, man. There's no in between. It's either one or the other, man. You either want it or you don't. You either want a better life for your family, for yourself, or you don't, man. At the end of the day, man. You know, some people might be good with just going through the motions, you know, being cool where they at, man. For me, it's more to life. You know, I'm always trying to elevate. I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to improve myself spiritually, financially, physically. I'm always working, constantly trying to improve myself all the time, you know. And you just got to know that the shit, it takes time and effort. You know, you got to be patient, you know. The shit just don't happen overnight, man. It's not an overnight thing. You know, you just gotta, and like I say, if you going through some shit right now and the shit been tough, you know, you got your finances fucked up, man. You might, I don't know, whether anything could happen. You might go through a divorce. Now you done lost a whole bunch of money. You lost your job. Fucking parents kicked you out. Anything like that, man. You got to know that as long as God wake you up, you got a fighting chance, man. You know, I done been through some shit, man, where it's been like, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do, man. I remember, like, all throughout the years, man, bad shit happened to me. You know, I'm like, fuck, man. At the time, I'm like, man, this shit crazy. This is bad. I don't know what I'm going to do, man, you know. But looking back on all of it, man, over the years, I've always been able to overcome no matter what. I've always been able to persevere and push past whatever life throws at me, you know, because I keep that fighter mentality. I'm always optimistic. Long as God woke me up, man, I woke up today, I got a fighting chance. So I'm going to keep fighting, you know. I'm going to keep fighting. People come back all the time. There's people that make comeback stories all the time, man. They hit rock bottom, you know, and we counting them out. They out and down for the count, man. Motherfuckers go through divorce. They get cleaned out. They get taken to the cleaners, man. The goddamn dude, he done lost the house. She took half for everything, man. He got to move back in with his mom or some shit, some crazy shit like that. People where I work at go to prison, man, for committing crime. They lose everything. The feds take everything, seize everything, all their assets. They started from zero, man. Might be in there in the prison working for $2 an hour, man. You talking about, man, I know I don't like to promote, you know, crime, you know, selling drugs and shit like that or whatnot. But you talking about dudes, man, at my prison right now. I'm at the federal prison. It might have been dudes in there that was selling dope, seeing $500,000, $30,000 a month, man. People like, they tell me some of their stories when I be on the unit, you know, and whatnot. Now they in there fucking working for $3 an hour, mopping the floor, you know. They starting off from zero. But some of them, man, they got that same fighter mentality. They got a plan. They like, yo, I'm going to get out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make that play. I'm not going to go back to what I was doing, man. I can't go back to there, man. This is not for me. And some of them, they go out and they do good. They succeed, man. You know, they go out there, man. They do what they said they was going to do. I seen one dude, man. I think he sent a clipping back, a newspaper clipping, man. And the inmates on the unit that he was in before he got out, he was on the same unit, right? They posted the clipping, man. He got out. And he started up like a fitness thing, and that shit just blew up, man. It's like, I think he owns a gym or something. He did like 15 years in prison. Now he got out, you know. So that goes to show you, man, you can hit rock bottom, man, and you could be right back on top. You know, you just got to have that mentality, and you got to stay optimistic, keep fighting one day at a time, man. No matter what you going through, the shit gonna be all right. You know, I know, like I said, I know this life shit get hard. You know, this shit, it's always some shit. It seems like you go 2 steps forward just to get knocked back 3. I understand that, man. You know, this, and me personally, like I said, man, this shit do be some shit sometimes. This life, it do be hectic. It do be hell. It be like, sometimes you like, man, life been giving it to me. Life been putting me through it, man. When am I going to win? I'm just trying to win. When we going to fucking finally start winning, man? We done took enough L's. You know, we'd have been living like fucking, like bum peasants, like we in a third world country, man. When is it going to be time for us to start winning? I'm trying to see us win. You know, you got to have that same mentality. When we going to start winning And once you got that mentality, now it's time to put the play into motion. You know, you can't just wish for the shit. You got to work for the shit too, baby. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got merchandise for sale. Shop with me, www.theghettobodybuilder.com. All kind of t-shirts, hoodies, a lot of it fitness related. You know, this is one of my shirts right here. Don't hate, just lift weights. I got my logo on the back, the original Ghetto Bodybuilder logo. You know, I try to drop merchandise, you know, to motivate people, inspire people to catch their eyes, you know, just something to keep people going, you know, because like I said, this life shit be hard. Sometimes, man, you feel like giving up, man. You got to find your why, man. You got to keep marching and keep going. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't give in, man. Long as God woke you up, you got a fighting chance, baby. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.